What is going on, everybody? We actually just got Oasis on right now. We're gonna go ahead and mute those guys right now once they get their feed going. But yeah, we've been trying to get them on there, and they just came on right at 9. Oasis, if you can hear me, your feed is just a little bit too loud. It's a little bit in and out, so we'll see if we can get that figured out. But real quick, I'm Chris, and we have James here. Go ahead and say hi, James.
Hey, what's going on?
So, as you can tell from the title, today is basically just all about how to set up your channel and some of the realities and some of the theory behind kind of going at it on your own or with other channels here on YouTube. So, as I mentioned before, other times I started a while ago, but I still had my mentors. I still had the people that I was like really inspired by, and I just like to thank those, and also just the mentors that kind of helped me out with different things. I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning. I had no idea about keywords, any of that stuff, and they were really good. But Jeff the Canuck and Kyle Pounds were two of the people that really inspired me. And also Wayne. Wayne's doing YouTube videos now. I think he just picked up a road truck, and he's traveling around in his van as well. He actually did a trip. You can find it on YouTube probably. And he did a trip where he actually converted a pontoon boat and went from the Mississippi down to the Gulf of Mexico. And he's doing the van stuff now. So just like to thank those guys that actually got me started, motivated to making these videos. Because when I first started watching Jeff the Canuck, one of his first videos, one of the first YouTube videos I've seen of people actually doing this type of stuff, he just had his camera. We actually started out with a scene from Into the Wild, and then he cut over to him driving the back roads of the Grand Canyon. He went around a different way where he was kind of off road. It just absolutely blew me away that he was just out there in his van with his dog and just traveling around.
Hey, Chris.
Posting, because I already did a trip with my dog, and I kind of wanted to replicate what he was doing and show people how possible it is and how awesome it is to be able to do that stuff. So really enjoyed their videos and their motivation to me, and that's why I like doing this stuff, helping other people get started, because there's a lot of good creators coming up right now. It's a very exciting time to be making these videos, and I'm going to get back to that here in a bit. But what James and I kind of went over this ourselves. When I was traveling around a bit, I did write down some of the things I wanted to share with you guys and some of the theory. The first thing we're going to talk about is when you first start your channel. James agrees with this as well. Is you really have to play to your strengths. And what I mean by that is, me personally, it's really easy for me to talk to people, to bring different stuff up, and just continue a conversation with people. So these van videos, whenever I started out like interviewing people, it was really beneficial for me because I was able to start conversations and hold conversations with people, so that was my strength. Whereas if you're starting your channel and you like to kind of do things by yourself, kind of alone, then maybe play to your strength. Basically what I'm getting at is, like, find what you want to do. Like, when you first start your channel, play to things that really work out for you. What do you think about that, James?
I think that's really important. What I found is that if you take the time to find out what's really important to you and you're focused on that and you're enjoying what you're doing, you're going to be able to do it well. It's a real hard road on YouTube for you to sit there and try to fake it. And you want to know what your personal strengths are. Is it showing things, from the very beginning, hardcore end of it? Are you afraid to approach people like you were saying? And if you know there's a couple of really successful YouTubers out there that they make the channel about them, They focus on what's going on with themselves and their pets. And so in that respects, I think you need to be honest about who you are and not try to pretend to be somebody you're not, because you're either going to get bored with it and end up quitting, or you're just not going to do it well.
Absolutely. And going on to the next topic, I kind of want to go over is whenever you're making your videos, like it is kind of hard, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. It is kind of, when you first start out, hard to take critiques because you worked on a video for a while and you finally put it up. And for example, say you're in a really windy spot doing your videos, and at a certain time of the day it's super windy, and you wait and wait, so you wait 2 or 3 hours, but there's this really awesome thing you want to film at the time, and you go out there and you do the filming, and then you edit the video, then you upload it even though the wind's a little bit iffy in your video, and then people don't really mention anything about what you were filming. They were just mentioning that it was too windy and they couldn't watch it. What we really have to do, you really have to be able to take those critiques and not look at it as looking down on you or trying to put you down. Like, I'd say 95% of critiques on YouTube are honest and trying to help you out. So you really have to take those critiques with as much, fortitude, and really try and use those to better your channel, because a lot of people here really want to see you succeed, and they think it's awesome that you're actually following through with your dreams, and they're trying to make you make your channel better. And so just be cautious of that, and always try and use those critiques the best you can, because I am open to anybody critiquing any of my videos, because I fully understand that those critiques are there to help me, and I really try and listen to them, and I really try and use those the best I can. What do you think about that, James?
Well, I completely agree, because it's really easy to decide that anybody that has anything negative to say is just a troll or a hater or whatever, and more often than not, it's a case where they're actually trying to be helpful. In fact, I recently had somebody that kind of busted my tail a little bit, talking about how frequently I use and how it's annoying. And I took classes as far as speech classes, and even though I had been told that and taught that, I have a real problem where I do use way too much. Now, I could have just assumed that that person was being a troll, and then I wouldn't have learned something about myself. I went back and really tried to look at it from the perspective of a viewer, and it it helped me a lot, even though it humbled me quite a bit.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's very important to reiterate that not everybody that critiques your videos or what you're doing, they're not always trolls. Like, I honestly don't think there's too many trolls out there. Like, you really have to look at it in that regard. And something that I've kind of seen, like I mentioned before with Jeff the Canuck, when I watched his videos, the thing that really got me motivated was just, it seemed like it was just incredibly pure, like what he was doing, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm really starting to see a new trend come into these videos, where it's not so much where people are like necessarily making videos to show what's going on. It seems like very recently there's channels popping up where they're focusing more on the drama, and with the drama you obviously get more views, and I think it's really starting to become more of a norm. But at the same time, I'm also seeing channels come up that are really honest and really good at what they do, and I'm just really hoping the trend kind of changes. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, when you start your channel, you really have to decide what you want to do, and then kind of stick with it. Like, for G and I, like, our number one goal is always showing the real stuff that's going on, like always trying to make it as real as possible and make sure we stick to the exact things that happen and not add anything and not take anything out. And some of the channels popping up right now, like whenever they start going with the drama, that's when they start really picking up. And I think a good example of this, not necessarily with YouTube, but like what I kind of see a relation to is with the Discovery Channel and say the History Channel. Like they used to always do programming that the History Channel actually used to do history. Discovery Channel actually used to do programs on the world, like what's going on in the world. Now they do nothing but fake TV shows, fake TV scripted shows. And I mean, I don't even think like the van and RV community on YouTube, like we're not immune to it. And I think a lot of YouTube in general, like people are really starting to see the more drama that you bring into the programming, the more views you get, the more subscribers you get. And I see it as a trend, but I'm also seeing like it's basically I'm viewing it as two pillars. There's one pillar going up that is this is how it is, this is exactly what's going on, and then also the other side that's focusing more on the drama. But you know, it is what it is, and you just kind of got to decide what you want to do and which pillar you want to go with, because it seems like there's starting to be a little bit of divide on the community right now. Do you see any of that, James? Can you hear me, James? I don't know if I'm
I
cut
can
off or
now.
not.
You totally went out there for a second. I tried to jump in for you.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out, I'd say, for a good 45 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the last section you heard?
Okay, so you were just in the process of letting people know, um, you know, yeah, sure, you can get those views and get those subscribers from drama, and then you started cutting out.
Gotcha. Well, did you hear me the section about Discovery Channel versus History Channel?
Can you say that again? You just broke up a little bit, buddy. Maybe turn down your bandwidth just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way down. All right, is that better? Is that better?
I can hear you better for sure. We don't have any video right now, though.
Man, good old AT&T. But like when did you get me when I was talking about the History Channel versus Discovery Channel comparison?
All right,
Can you
that
hear
was
me?
my turn. Yeah, I can hear you, and that was my turn to lose the feed. Maybe it was Google.
We'll blame it on them. But did you get the comparison between History Channel and Discovery Channel or no?
Yeah, I loved the Discovery Channel and the History Channel, and I remember back when things were a lot more completely killed, not having the dramatized shows and whatnot, which is a real disappointment because I personally really enjoy those. But as they learn, there is something to be said to drama, and it does have some quick success. But one thing that I've noticed is that with the folks and with the stuff that focuses on drama, escalate it. Like you don't have a situation where the same level of drama is going to keep viewers in tuned in. So sure, you might be able to get some early quick success doing that, but the problem with it is you're going to have to keep escalating that, and I don't think that in the long run is going to be able to stay the turn of time. I think eventually.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes in the future. But I think where I got cut out at was basically saying I think there's going to be two different pillars. I think there's going to be channels that kind of stick to the real stuff, and I think there's going to be channels that stick to the drama side of it. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out into the future. But in terms of if you are just starting out and you're kind of hesitant to get started, like you're just kind of putting it off day by day, the advice I have with that is just absolutely start filming as quickly as you can, because one day not filming is like 10 to 20 days right now on YouTube trying to get an RV or van life channel started, because there's so many new channels coming out. There's so much good content starting to come out now that I really think you should start filming, even if you don't have an RV yet. Like, start filming the process to getting rid of most of your stuff, or start the process of how you plan to save for it. Like, really start to plan out every single second of it, because what James and I don't have, advantage that you have, is you have the ability to show from the very beginning of what was going on from the very get-go, like how things were, what your life was like. And I really think it'd be beneficial for people to film that. Like, James, right now, like you're in the process of trying to get everything figured out for your new RV. Is it pretty difficult, like not being able to film as much as you used to, or how's that working out for you?
Can you repeat that just there at the end, brother?
No, I was just
I
saying,
don't know
like,
if it was on my side, but you broke up a little bit for me, I think.
gotcha. No, I was just mentioning, now that you don't have a van right now and you're in the process of getting a different RV or whatnot, how is it pretty difficult watching other channels right now that you're not able to post as much, or do you feel like there is a lag in between posting right now and then trying to get it up? Do you feel like it's a little bit of a different situation for you?
Well, I will tell you for sure. Me personally, I definitely miss the being out there and really getting at it. And I do agree quite a bit with you on what you were saying there about some of the people that are looking to start their channel from scratch right now do have a huge, I'm talking a huge advantage on us, really, because I think that one of the areas that's the most lacking out there on YouTube is the process of actually making the change to the lifestyle. And when I say that, I mean detailed, like exactly what you did, what your plan was. These kinds of things is just lacking out there, where the stuff, once you get out there and traveling, sure, it's, you go different places and you have a different take, but um, there there is those things out there where that beginning stage is completely missing.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see, because I really think a lot of people are actually, like, I think Oasis here, and by the way, Oasis, we're gonna have you on at 9:45. So we'll be answering your questions then. But I really think it's cool for them because they're showing from the very, very beginning, and that's something that you and I can't do, especially having a family as well, which I think will be very beneficial for not only us as viewers, but for them, like being able to have those videos to remember by, because that's one of the best things for us right now is, once we get older and later on in the future, we're always going to have these videos showing what we're doing. Another important topic that I want to cover real quick for those wanting to start your channel. Don't expect all creators to promote or even mention your channel. A lot of people just expect it. Like, I know James told me one time that there was a guy that was kind of upset with me because I didn't mention his channel, but I don't even remember getting the question. But I'm always open to mention people on my channel. I think it's a great idea. Like I said, I had great mentors that actually, not even Jeff the Canuck or Kyle Pounds, but people that were there giving me advice on YouTube. Like, they had no other reason to do it other than they wanted to see me succeed. So I still feel indebted to them to always promote people. But the thing is, there's a difference between people demanding to be featured and people that actually ask. Like, they actually ask you as a person, like, hey, I'm starting this channel, can you please feature me? Like, that's awesome. But some people, even if you ask nicely, even whatsoever, no matter how big your channel, no matter how small your channel is, they won't promote you, because what you understand, once you become a creator, once you start making these videos, you got to realize, for a lot of people, they just view you as competition. They don't view you as any more than just competition. You're a new channel out there trying to take views from them. So keep that in mind when you're asking channels to promote you, and if you don't get a response or if they completely ignore you, like that might have a little something to do with it. Have you ever had any situations with that, James, where you've been asked to promote somebody?
Yeah, I personally have held like a standpoint of being completely open about promotion, and I started off actually trying to do some kind of promotion for somebody that takes part in my channel every week, and I kind of ended up having some issues where I kind of got burnt a little bit. And one thing you guys need to just remember is that people are going to see whoever that you promote or whoever that you interact with is going to kind of reflect onto you a little bit, even though maybe that's not necessarily fair. And what I've noticed is that you need to be careful a lot of times about make sure you know who you are going out there to promote, because sometimes who you promote, it might have all been fine and dandy from the beginning, but then all of a sudden they end up being somebody that's causing drama or doing things that aren't something that you would condone, and it still reflects upon you. Um, Also, guys, like if you want, sure, it does help to be promoted, but you want to build a relationship with people that you're looking to promote, be promoted by. Even those that are promoting you, you got to remember that some of any of the negative that's for them kind of sloughs off on you a little bit too, because you're connected to them. So make sure that you know who you are being promoted by. Make sure you know who you are promoting. Okay, and those are a good way to go about things so that you don't run into problems. And when you go to approach somebody about maybe doing some kind of collaboration with them, and that's more what you should be looking at it as, is trying to collaborate with them rather than just trying to ask to be promoted. Make sure you get to know them. Make sure that you have some kind of pitch to them that is a benefit also to them, rather than just expecting almost kind of like a handout. I just think it's just a better route. You're going to have a more positive feedback on what you're trying to do if you do that way.
Absolutely. And just so everybody knows, the people that I met, like I just saw a comment from Falcon, like he mentioned when I was at the RV show, he wasn't asking for promotion. I'm not talking about that at all. Like I'm talking about messages that I get on like my messages on YouTube. I'll just get a straight message like, "Here's my channel. Can you please," or not even please sometimes, like I want you to put it on your channel. Like that's literally been said once in my messages. I'm like, yeah, I'll get right on that, buddy. But it's like when Mike came in, for example, like when Mike came in, like I wanted to do videos with him right when he got there, and he wanted to do videos with me, but there was we hung out first. Like we actually went and got beer pong materials. We went out and ate lunch. We actually hung out, and then later that night we actually did the video. Like people commented on the video, like why'd you do it in the dark when it was windy outside? Is because we actually had to meet first. There was actually a process to it. Like we understood it wasn't so much of hey dude, let's do some videos right now. Like hey, let's hang out. I really want to get to know you, and we'll do the video later, because I felt like I was actually able to do a better interview once I actually got to know Mike as well. It was better on all fronts. And just like James said, you do have to kind of watch who you do videos with, because it does seem like once you do a video with somebody once, you are automatically associated with them for the rest of the time you're on YouTube. So just be cautious of that and be mindful of that as you go along, because it will be with you for a while. And for me, we briefly touched on trolls, but for me, I'm definitely, a lot of people watching this already know, I'm definitely a guy that I hold my tongue when it comes to negative things. I never reply to trolls, and I just instantly block them. That's just how I do it. And like we said before, not all people that disagree with you are trolls. Not all people that critique you are trolls. Like like I said, 95% or even more people that I've encountered on YouTube are actually giving me feedback to help me better my channel and better my videos. And I try and keep that um, in constant memory, because a perfect example of this, um, Atlas, by the way, is the name of the RV, the new Class A I have. We're actually going to go pick him up tomorrow if all goes to plan, which I'm super excited about. But a lot of people put Atlas on G. Like the first thing they assume is that the reason why I got the new Class A is for G's, because I had a girlfriend, so I sold out. And I mean, it goes so much further than that. You know, so you get sometimes you get critiques where it's people really trying to help you out. Like I had a couple of people that's been on my commented on my channel for a long time. I respect, I love getting their comments. I still do. But when they're critiquing, like I really think you need to consider what you're doing with the girl. Like she's making you spend all that money. Like they don't realize I bought that Class A to start a business in Alaska. I didn't want to pay rent. And just like we talked about, the 1 day and when you're not posting is like 10 to 20 days when you are posting on YouTube, because whenever you're not present, whenever you're not a member of somebody that's posted on YouTube, people forget about you very quickly, and those other people posting take your spot. They take it very easily. You have to have videos. And you know, it's when people are critiquing me, saying like I do understand where they're coming from. They're not trying to say, you know, like oh, you made such a terrible decision. They're just like, hey man, like be careful with what you're doing. I respect their opinion, but it does go deeper in what you're doing with your personal life as well, because you could be, you know, you might be having a hard time at work and you're not able to buy the best RV gear, and people are commenting, man, you should have bought this. So once again, this is just for people that are like trying to start their channel. They have no idea what to expect, because these are things I never would have thought of when I first started my RV van life channel. I didn't expect to be, you know, like every decision being critiqued, but once you get used to it, once you realize people were there trying to, you know, motivate you and help you, that's a big thing. So I'm gonna make a video about this later, but without the critiques and without people continuously pushing me on YouTube, the Class A would not be happening. I would not be going to pick up my new Class A tomorrow if it wasn't for the YouTube community. And that is the dead honest truth, because you know, like it really makes, like, just people's comments and critiques, like they push me so much, like in a good direction. Like it really motivates me and really makes me want to succeed and continue this lifestyle. So the critiques, basically wrapping it all up, is the critiques is what actually is making me continue on and get the Class A that I'm going to be doing now, because I know I have people on YouTube that are following me and they're interested in what I'm doing, and I want to be able to show them the best things possible, because I wanted to stay present in the YouTube community, the RV and van dwellers, and the best way to do that was to get the Class A. So we'll see how it plays out in the future. But do you, like, James, you've had some run-ins with trolls in your day. Do you have anything to add with that? Or not even trolls, like holding your tongue, but just like in terms of taking critiques and actually using them to benefit you instead of letting them get you down. Because like I spent about 2 hours today replying to comments, and this is just, I'll just kind of touch on this, like you really have to love YouTube if you can sit down and reply to comments for 2 hours and still want to reply, but it's your turn to drive on the way back from the trip, you know, so you really have to love what you do. But so some people were saying in the comments that what was it? That it was about the RV. That's what it was. It was about the RV show and how G and I, since we have a newer Class A, that we're RV snobs now. But the reason why I went to that RV show was to make YouTube videos. So I was trying to stay relevant in the community while I was away traveling, and that's kind of where the critiques came in. Like I understood where they were coming from, and they weren't trying to be rude about it. They were just like, hey dude, you came from a Class B, now you're putting down all these high-priced Class Bs. But it wasn't that. I was there for that RV show for the YouTube channel, just trying to make videos. But sorry for cutting you off. Do you have anything to add to that, James?
You know, Chris makes a really good point about needing to stay relevant. And then as far as the troll situation, I I kind of have had held a little bit of a different line than Chris had, and I would say that his stance on it is probably the easiest way to handle it. But I was hoping, and at first it did work. I was hoping that some of the people that maybe seemed like trolls or were kind of haters or like just spreading negativity in general, I thought that perhaps if I talked to them and treated them not like they were attacking me and not like they were trying to troll me, but more in a way that maybe they just had a bad day or something like that, or and trying to really get more out of them. And most of the time, I found that I think it did help a little bit. They Some of them actually calmed down and stopped trolling, but at the same time, there were several occurrences where I ended up wasting 2 hours going back and forth with somebody. Not that I was trying to be negative, but just I thought we were having a discussion, and they were just trying to throw things out there. They were actually trolling my channel, and I wasted 2, 3 hours, and then they deleted all their comments.
And lesson learned.
And
That's all you need.
yeah, exactly. And so the funny thing on that is I do have to, that it was kind of funny when they deleted them. I'm like, man, that was a waste of breath. They just deleted them on. Then that comment that I made to somebody else that was on that same string of comments, the troll plus one my comment. The troll actually taught me a lesson to not spend all that time with the trolls. So
Yeah.
so that
I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, because for me, like I always try and stay as calm and chill as possible. But sometimes when people make comments on there, I really feel it in my stomach, and then you really have to just like when it's actually a troll comment, when they're just like trying to get a rile out of you, and it lasts for 2 seconds. I'm just like, it's absolutely not worth it. So when you come into these types of channels like RV life, van dwelling life, even though I feel like the society in general is starting to become more open to this type of lifestyle, in terms of like really being out there, because this lifestyle has been here for 100 years. Like there's been people doing this for a very long time. But in terms of actually being open with it, like being able to park your RV on the side of the road and people know you're camping in it and they're going to be fine with it, like I think it's just in its infancy. And like when you make videos on like cheap washing setups, people are going to make comments on there like, why don't you just use a normal washer, you dirty hippie? Like you gotta, it's going to happen. It really is. Like I still get it too, but it's to the point now where I don't even register it in my head. Like it's just something you gotta. If you want my advice, you're starting your channel, you are going to get negative comments, and the best thing that I've found to do is actually just to ignore all the negative comments and just continue doing what makes you happy, because in the end, that's all that really matters. If you're happy and you're enjoying what you're doing, that's all that matters. Let people say what they're going to say. Odds are they're typically a very, very sad person if they're being negative to people online, because one of the things that really helps me be calm about it is typically people are that rude to people online for no reason. They've had something really bad happen to them in the past, and I really think that's where a lot of it comes from. So I always try and just take it as easy as possible. But now that we got over some theory, I'm going to go to the moderator, and we're going to start getting to the nuts and bolts, like with the keywords, thumbnails, titles. And you want to add something, James?
Yeah, there was a question a little bit earlier that just asking us both about how do we really feel, or is it kind of funny putting ourselves out there, our personal lives and whatnot, for everybody to see? What's your take on that, Chris?
I've been talking a lot, James. You go ahead and take the lead on that.
Okay, so for me personally, I'm a pretty open person just in general. So it's not a huge extension for me. But I will note that there was some apprehension, and I will be very honest. Initially, people's negative feedback affected me, guys. I mean, it would cause me to feel bad and whatnot. And you're gonna have that. You're gonna have to be able to either grow a thick skin, or you shouldn't really do it in the first place. And if you're normally a pretty guarded person, I think you're gonna have a real hard time making that transition. You're gonna have to be extra careful about what you share, and things like that. And you know, I mean, for instance, like Catalina and I, we're very different in that respect. She's very likes to hold her personal life kind of hidden in a bag, compared to me, where I'm pretty open. She always tells me I'm too open, just in personal life, period. And so if you're the person that's like got that bag and normally tries to hide it, I think you're going to have a lot more struggles, especially when you put something out there and you get some bad feedback. Go ahead, Chris.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's tough skin is definitely a must-have. For me, my goal from the beginning was just showing people that this was possible and it was an awesome way to travel, and it was just really cool. And I still hold to that. Like for me now, like as you continue and as you film day after day, the first time you look in that GoPro camera or your phone, it's going to be really weird for you. It's going to be a very weird experience. You're going to talk a different way that you've never talked in your entire life. Your voice is going to be weird. And you're going to get it online. You're going to question to upload it or not. Just upload it. Just see what it's like, because that my first video that I did was just atrocious. I go back and look at that from time to time just to do it. I should link it to this video once it's edited. It was the first tour of my first stealth van. I named her Joplin after Janis Joplin. She was a purple van. On eBay, I didn't realize she was that purple, but I just did a video just to kind of show what it was. I really didn't have much of a intention on doing too much with it, and it got a lot of hits, and there was a lot of negative feedback on there, and it stung. I was like, man, why are these people being so mean? And then as you continue posting, as you learn, it's just part of the thing, and you just kind of roll with the punches, because people are a lot more brave when they don't have to say anything in person. I'm not saying that that's a negative thing, because you get a lot more honest feedback that way than if people are telling you straight to face. Just like if they're at a concert and the artist comes up and asks them how the music was, oh, it was great, man. That was the best show ever. Whereas if you'd ever talked to the artist, you're like, it was okay. So
Yeah.
I think that's a double-edged sword for sure right there. But I do have a question here on moderator, and it's a double question. This is from North Dakota Nomad. He's from Western North Dakota. The first thing, he actually has two questions. I'm going to answer both of them real quick. His question is there a way to copyright video and images from our own channels? And if so, can anyone explain the process briefly, and any reason why a person should or shouldn't copyright? My experience with this is whenever you start posting videos, there's actually a drop-down box. It's your copyright. You can actually change that to be not shared. You can change that to Creative Commons. You can actually probably Google that to find out better from what I'm saying, but I do know there is a drop box. And for me, I don't copyright anything because I want my material to be shared. I don't mind if it's put out there, as long as they ask my permission first. I don't want my videos on some site that I don't want it to be on, like if it's something negative or whatever. But I actually have a stipulation in my video saying that I do not want this video shared without permission. Odds are it's going to be perfectly fine, and I'm going to share it. The more views it gets, the merrier. The channel's growing. That's good. Do you have anything to add to that, James, before I go to the next question?
So copyright is kind of a little funny thing. So what we're doing when you're doing those drop boxes is that's the licensing that you want to grant YouTubers or users to actually truly copyright. I mean, you obviously always own your material, but to actually have true protective rights, it's a legal process to do that. And if it's really, really important for you to copyright your material, especially if you're trying to prevent people from reusing it and you want to do that every time, the cheapest way I know to do that is probably to join a network, and they'll actually help you protect that copyright and make it official. Obviously, we always kind of have that, especially if you've noted it in the YouTube licensing. But to really protect that, you need some help.
Good call there. We do have another one. Actually, this is from Freedom 2 is from Illinois. Chris, do you have to get permission to film in the RV show and upload it to your channel? Also, when you're out traveling, stores, restaurants, and attractions. No, it's public location. You can film. My rule with that typically is I film until somebody tells me not to. And I've never really had any major problems with filming. I've had people get a little angry at me for filming. Something's sticking in my head. I don't know exactly when that was, but I typically try and film about everything when I'm out doing things at RV shows. I mean, the thing is, a lot of those RVs that G and I did tours of, those were they want those promoted. They're there for people to see and be promoted. So they were more than happy. Like the reps there were more than happy once I told them I had a YouTube channel based on RV travel. Just like that test drive with that Super C, which was my highlight of the show. It was absolutely amazing. I started a conversation again, going back. If you've been watching this whole stream, play to your strengths. I'm really good at talking to people, and I started asking him questions. And he invited G and I, and my grandma was with us the next day. She came along too, and we took a ride in the Super C. So it was no problem at all. A lot of the places I do film, restaurants and everything, I do start a dialogue. Typically, I don't walk in with my camera out filming. I typically say if I'm at a bar, I go to the bar, I speak to the bartender, I just mention I have a channel, start asking some questions, ask if they do any tours. Typically by that time, they're interested enough if the manager's in there, like, hey, I can go get my manager. Or a lot of times during the day when you walk into a bar, you are talking to the manager. So I typically film about everything. I usually just try and talk to people and see what's good to film, if I'm able to film. And a lot of times that actually gets you an avenue to get some really good footage. So, James, what do you think about this? Let's go ahead and have Oasis on, and we can go over the nuts and bolts with them. Like, we'll answer their questions for the first 15, 20 minutes, and then from there on, we can go over, kind of stuff about keywords, thumbnails, and titles. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Oasis, give me 1 second. We're going to take you off mute here. Do you know how to take them off mute there, or do they have to do it, James?
So should be able to just use that drop down.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Hey.
Doing
Howdy,
well.
guys.
How are you guys doing?
All right, all right.
So do you have any particular questions for James and I?
Well, what type of, one thing I'm having an issue with, or I had an issue with, was with the filming. I was filming with my phone, which just seems to be one of the most popular things right now. However, we went with an upgrade. I was just curious to, I see that on some of the videos with the reflections on the mirrors on the RVs that you, Chris, you're using a video camera of some sort. I was just curious to know what type of camera is that you're using? What microphone are you using it with?
Absolutely. You know what we're going to do real quick? I forgot to mention. I was just in a roll there. How about you guys introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you're doing, and kind of where you hope to go in the future. Sorry about that.
Oh, absolutely. My name is Jeff T. Vasquez. This is my wife here, Vanessa Vasquez. Our dreams are to travel. This is something that we've been talking about and dreaming for a while. We have a small family, and we're going to try to go out and see the nation with our bus. Our channel is called Oasis of the Soul. Our bus is called Oasis. We have a 1975 Prevost. Now I'm pronouncing it right. In my past videos, I couldn't pronounce it for some reason. It's French.
I did the same thing. All good.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're trying to update her because she needs some updating. She was already converted back in the 90s, and yeah, man, that's pretty much our story in a nutshell. I watch you guys all the time. James, what's up, man? Slap City was cool. Chris, man, I
What's going
love
on,
your
bro?
Class B. So yeah, man, I watch you guys all the time, and this is something that you guys have inspired me. You and many others have inspired us, me, my wife, and my kids. Yeah, you want to say anything else?
Um, that was about it, I think. I think you took it all
I covered.
and went with it. Hi.
So you guys actually you're going to be traveling. So are you? Is this going to be a traveling vehicle for you? Or are you actually going to move into it?
This is going to be more of a traveling vehicle for us. However, we are contemplating whether if we are going to move into her or not. This is nothing concrete, but we are contemplating it seriously. We'll see how the future comes about for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. So to answer your question, I do film with it's a Nikon D610, and I'm really big into photography. And with the new DSLRs these days, it's just absolutely amazing quality that you can get out of these DSLRs, which is pretty cool. And I have a lot of better options with stabilization in terms of getting like a really nice glide cam on Amazon for not that much. So it's pretty good video quality. It's actually, I got a giant pile of boxes downstairs while we were in Florida. I was ordering a bunch of stuff off Amazon for the new RV and for the new trip. But I'm going to be using that for my videos. I also use GoPros. I think as you continue, you're going to kind of develop your own little arsenal of cameras that you find used and everything just to try out for your channel, because it's a continuous process getting your gear. And the mic I use is a Video Mic Pro. I got that for the RV tour videos, and also whenever G and I are driving up to Alaska this year, I plan on putting it right in the middle of the dash, and that way you have better audio, because sometimes it's hard for the viewers to hear her whenever we're actually driving down the road. So, I mean, for me, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I'm still modifying, I'm still developing, and I think as you start filming, you're going to have your own little evolution of your camera gear, because there's always something else you can get, something else to make it better.
Absolutely.
I think
We just heard. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, James.
I was just going to let you guys know that I actually think that the most important thing is really your audio. Like, if you're going to film with anything that films 1080p, it's probably good for most kind of shots, but your audio is a big thing. I know when I first started, I got a lot of complaints on audio, and I think that's the number one. And then if you're starting off, I mean, sure, the first camera you get, like he kind of spoke about the GoPro. I think it's a good camera for a broad spectrum of things. It gives you the opportunity, without having to carry a bunch of lenses, to have different widths and how much of the screen that you show, which is real helpful, that you can't really do with your cell phone. That's just my take on it. But
No,
go ahead.
I
Sorry.
absolutely agree. No, I'm just going to add to that, James. I think everybody's starting out. Getting a GoPro is a great addition. You can also go to Amazon and get a little mic that plugs into the GoPro, and it mounts on the top, and that's a very good starter camera to actually go out there and start filming, because it is a great wide angle. If you get an external mic, it does really good with the audio as well. And you can get some very cheap stabilizers for those GoPros too. Like, you can go to Amazon and get one of the handheld stabilizers for not that much. So you have your mic on there that'll cost you, I think the one that I saw was like $9. It had amazing reviews. The stabilizer was like $15 or $20 plus the GoPro camera. And I'm not saying go out and buy a new one. Like my GoPro 2 that I've had for, man, that was Arizona. I've had it for like 4 years now. It still works perfect. You know, like get an older GoPro 3, GoPro 2, and that's a great camera to have whenever you're vlogging.
What's been the most unexpected thing you've encountered, I think, with your channel? I mean, I know you go into it expecting certain things, and some things don't always go the way you think, but what's been like the most unexpected thing that you've had happen?
What do you think, James? You want to get that one?
Um, the most unexpected thing, I, you know, for me, it's just I just I didn't realize the the challenges that you might have to deal with as far as like I never understood the concept of troll. So that was probably the most surprising thing to me. I didn't realize there was people that would actually waste their time to do nothing but be negative for the sake of being negative. So I guess that was the only real heavily unexpected thing. And then the second most was probably just my channel grew way faster than I thought it would. I was just posting videos.
Yeah, I got to agree with the how fast it'll grow. I think once you start posting, like I said, like we were mentioning earlier, like how we talked about how you have the advantage right now, where you can post like getting the raw bus to where you want it. Like if you just start posting everything, I mean everything, like going to the store, the budget, what you hope to do with it. People will start commenting on your videos, reply to those, and take their suggestions in consideration and actually implement that into your videos, because people love to see that. They love being a part of it, because once you start actually communicating with them and they actually see their comments starting to come into the videos, they become part of your build with you, which is very important. So whenever you start implementing your build, whenever you start with that, just record everything. And then speaking of recording, are we on a laptop right now, or are we on a phone for this
We're
interview?
on. Actually, I think I'm using the mic, my headphone mic. I'm not sure if
I
the
mean,
computer's
like
picking it up on my headphone.
the video, but we're on a computer right now.
Oh, desktop, yeah.
Oh, desktop, yes.
Windows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have an editing program on there?
Yes.
Yes, Windows.
Windows. James mentioned one to me earlier. What was that free one? Just in case you want to switch it up
So
and try something.
Lightworks is pretty. Lightworks has a free version that you can use on Apple, Linux, or my, Microsoft Windows, and that program is very robust, even in the free version. It's been way easier for me to learn than even the Windows Movie Maker, and it's non-linear, so you can stack files, which makes things a lot faster. I'm sure Chris.
Which is in sorry, you're cutting out there. I might have talked over you, but in my opinion, I think that's very very good to learn. And you can go to YouTube right now and just type in that particular program and type in tutorial afterwards, and you can learn so much. Like, so basically what I'm saying is film as much as you can, start playing around with the editing programs, just spend some time doing that, because once you start getting used to that, once you start getting used to replying, it becomes part of your daily life, which really helps your channel as well, because when we were traveling around doing that cruise or whatever, like I didn't have internet and it was driving me crazy that I wasn't able to reply to comments and actually edit videos. Like it becomes part of your daily routine, So definitely start playing around with that and get some experience with it, because it definitely helps you out.
It's funny that you say you mentioned the editing program. Right now we're using Premiere Pro, I believe it's called, and
Nice.
at first, if you go on my channel, you'll see the first video, the second, and it gets better and better and better. And going back to the comments, I've had a couple of people mention, aspect ratio, and I'm like, what is that? Because I'm not too familiar with that. But however, their criticism was great, and I did learn, and in the future videos, the aspect ratio will be fixed. Those are those are great criticism. I didn't take it negative. I could have, stuff like that. But no, I definitely decided, yeah, you know what? They're right after looking at them. And yeah, this editing program is great. I get to do the titling and editing and definitely play around with it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a great program, actually. I think that's probably the best one. It just usually has a little bit more of a learning curve than the others.
Absolutely. You can go to the good old tutorials on YouTube is where I learned all my video editing. So just takes some time, some patience. Just take those critiques and just kind of run with it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But with James, like talking about things I didn't expect with the channel was whenever, like for me, it was the growth as well. Like once the channel started picking up, because it was definitely one of those lines that was just really low subscribers, views, and then it just kind of started going up, you know, in that like pretty high rate, just because I think people were starting to be turned on to the van stuff. So even me, like even from way back in the day, I'm still surprised on how many views I get and how many subscribers I have on YouTube. It's mind-boggling when I think about it. I think the biggest thing that G thinks is the funniest thing ever, and so did my grandma when it happened, when we were at the RV show, and I thought it was absolutely awesome when people would stop me and G and be like, "Are you Chris and G?" Which was the coolest thing that has ever happened in my entire life. I can definitely say that. So it was awesome just being at the RV show and actually meeting people that watch the videos, and like once you start posting for a while, you know it's going to happen to you. And you actually, like James, when I talked to you about doing this video, you said you were going to have lunch with somebody, a subscriber. Like I think the biggest thing is just the real interaction you get with subscribers, and whenever you start talking to them, and whenever you start to get to know them as people and hear what they've been through and the things they're going to be doing and the traveling they're going to do, I'd say that's the biggest surprise for me, because that was the coolest. So like that was the all around most awesome, because I always thought it'd be cool to motivate people, but when they actually tell you in person is the coolest thing ever. Like I absolutely love that.
That is definitely the coolest thing ever. That's absolutely, Chris. That's definitely the coolest thing ever, if you ask me. I love meeting my subscribers, and I have some friends that there was no way ever that I could have had if I hadn't had the channel. Heck, I would have never met Chris.
No
He's
way,
a good
man.
guy.
Like same, man. I meet a lot of cool people through this. It's really cool.
Nice. Nice.
But in terms of setting up your channel, like in terms of your defaults, your keywords, do you have any questions about anything like that? Like actually how you do your thumbnails, or are you all pretty much set with that?
I'm the one that does the uploading. So I've been playing around with it. Any tips that you guys have would be great. I have, figured out how to set the thumbnail to a custom one and everything. That was pretty straightforward. But as far as like the keywords and the tagging, what is the best way to optimize that you found?
You want to go with that, James? You want me to do it?
So to start off with, on the tags, guys, there's been a lot of stuff going out there, and I've noticed that the fewer tags I actually use, the better the video does for those keywords. So, try to stay under, say, 9 tags and try to make them as exactly what the video is as possible, because what they're a huge ranking thing for YouTube now is actually watch time. So if you got a video ranking for something that isn't exactly what it is, you're going to actually find that video over time is going to rank worse for everything. Just an FYI on the tags. And then my take on it, and I haven't really been doing a whole lot of it, but really customizing your photo. That I see that Chris does that a lot better than I do. The couple of times that I did, I saw a good jump in viewership that wasn't from subscribers. So
Yeah,
those are the biggest things.
absolutely. Like the tags, like I've definitely noticed a discrepancy, because the view time is the most important thing out of everything. Not your subscribers, not your total views. It's the amount of time people actually watch your videos. So, for example, if you go through and you make all your tags, like everything to do with van, like if you do like black tank, gray tank, solar, faucet, tires, air filter, and you just cram everything in there until it's full, and somebody's searching for an RV air filter and your video pops up when that particular video is about solar, then they're not going to watch it as long. They might click on it, but they might only stay for a minute, and that actually diminishes your video. It puts it at a lower setting. So you want to be careful with that because it is kind of tricky because you do have the option to go to default for each video. So have you looked in the defaults of the uploads yet?
Yeah.
Not extensively.
So
No.
basically in your video manager, when you go to, I believe it's your channel, there is a little button for defaults. And with that, it actually lets you add default tags, default titles, default monetization, and it just basically, every video you upload has those. So it's very easy to fall into the trap of having all your, like, just try and type in as many default keywords as possible because every video will be uploaded with that. I still do that with some videos, but whenever G and I are actually traveling again, I had already planned on changing my defaults to just keywords like Alaska, RV, full time, because that's what the videos are actually going to be. Because I have a whole bunch invested in this trip up to Alaska this year, obviously. So you know, it's for me. I even change my channel all the time, and the different things that I'm going to do. And your thumbnails are a very big contributor to your views. But what's kind of tricky is you don't want to just have this thumbnail that's completely opposite of what's going on in your video. For me personally, the way that I do it is I actually, after I finish a video, I'll re-input it into Premiere Pro, then I'll actually skim through the video and try and find a nice thumbnail that represents that video. Then I export that thumbnail, then I actually import it to Photoshop. That's where I add the title, and I add a bright color, and I make it 3D. You can probably find free programs out there that does the same thing. I just happen to have a student version of Photoshop that I got for free. So you bring that into Photoshop, you add the letters. I add them a bright letter, a nice 3D, it has a nice, you know, some external look to it, and then I add that on there, and that's how I upload the thumbnails. And those videos, they do get a sharper hit, because when people are going through and they actually, you know, we still have that reptilian brain. We still have, you know, certain colors draw our attention, certain things draw our attention, and it's just there. And we see the title and we click it, and that's how people get introduced to your channel. That's how subscribers know. It's like kind of branding as well. Whenever you have those large letters, people know, okay, that's one of Chris Travel's videos. So that's something to look into as well. And I think a big thing, I know James does this more than me, just talking to him and passing about it, but I know he pays attention to his analytics a lot more than me, but analytics is an important thing to keep track of, because analytics will show you when a video is getting views throughout the day. So if you get a big jump in views at 11 a.m. and you post your videos at 9 a.m., you just got to be more conscious of when people are actually watching your video and how long they're watching your video at different times, because that can change your upload times. I've heard many different theories on when to upload your videos. I've heard people uploading at 4 in the morning, some upload at 10. The height, James, you might know this, the height of YouTube views is noon to 1. Isn't it something like that?
I have actually heard that, but for my videos, it's definitely not that. I've posted at different times all day, and I find that there's the most of my subscriber views, and then there's the most of like actual YouTubers viewing. And so once you actually have some subscribers set that you can help that like your videos already and follow them, you want to find out when they are actually viewing. And the reason why you want to do that is the most subscribers, if you can get the most of your subscribers there and they interact with it, they watch a great deal of it, now you can get your video caught and then promoted by YouTube to other people. And so you need to find out when the most of your subscribers are watching, because that actually in the end ends up to be when the most actual views you can get on a video. That's what I've noticed.
Absolutely. So just be conscious of that. And any other questions that you have at the moment?
Any other questions? I guess that's it. I just want to say that can't wait to see the monocle, the videos of the monocle. That's going to be nice. James, can't wait to see if you get a Class C or whatever class you get. I know it's going to be exciting. Congrats on both of you for that.
Thank you. Actually, G's right over there.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Hey, G.
Pajamas, this is so embarrassing.
That's all right.
Okay.
I've seen you in your pajamas before in the Class B.
He says that he's seen you in the pajamas in the Class B. Hands up.
I guess that's true. God,
Yep.
I forgot everyone's seen me in my
Yep,
first
everybody's
one.
seen you in pajamas, G. It's okay. No, we're like I said earlier, we're probably going to be picking up the Class A tomorrow. So
Nice.
super excited. It's a dream that's
Yeah.
actually coming
You know,
to
it's funny. I
fruition.
just went to the RV show there, Chris, and like it's going to be a little bit more complicated selecting an RV than I thought it was going to be because I didn't want to be over 21 feet, and when we were at the RV show, Catalina was in a 26-foot Class C, and she's like,
You're
"This is
done.
perfect."
That's it. You're not getting 21. Don't even try and get it now.
Nope.
You see, the cool thing with us, or I think it's cool, is she hasn't even seen it yet. She's only seen the video, so she'll be seeing it
Wow.
for the first time tomorrow.
Oh, she's gonna love it with that single slide out. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited, man. It's crazy. Like I said before, you might see the same thing happen with your channel and your Prevo, as we can pronounce it correctly now. But it's interesting how your channel drives you to do like things you never thought you'd do, you know. And G's heading out. She says bye, but you'll definitely see, like as you start building, as you start doing your thing, how your viewers and subscribers push you to do better and better. Like it's pretty awesome.
No, it's definitely gonna be a fun adventure. We're looking forward for future advices and great comments from everyone, from you, James, from you, Chris. We thank you. Me and Vanessa really thank you. This is a great opportunity for us to be on your show. Not only that, also you clarified a lot of things that we didn't know tonight, and we as far as starting up a new channel in regards to that. So we definitely thank you guys. You guys are fun. You guys are awesome. Keep up. Let's reduce world suck even more. I love the Alaska videos.
Right on.
They're good. So
Yeah, there's gonna be a
we'll
lot
continue.
more.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. We'll continue rocking on.
Yeah, the one piece of advice, definitely for anybody starting. James and I talked about this, and I put a little star next to this, but it's definitely find your own voice. Like my best advice, like it seems like you guys already have a good idea of what you want to do, but this kind of applies to you a little bit as well. But it's for something I think would be great for people starting out to do was make a list on two sides, what you like and what you don't like. Go to the channels that you really feel like or what you might aspire to, what you might want to be in the future. Write down what you like about each channel, what you don't like about each channel, and then at the end, kind of decide what you want to do. Like kind of take the best of the channels and leave out the worst, and then what you have left is kind of just a little bit of a heading, just a little bit of a directional thing you can go to, which might help you achieve better things in the future as well.
Ooh,
so
that's going to be a little tough for me.
Just
every video, I see every video positively. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, just definitely find your own thing, find your own little niche out there, because like I said, there is a lot of channels popping up right now. There's a lot of people doing different stuff. Just make sure you find your own voice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's like when you keep it real. Like this is my opinion. This is kind of what I've seen and what I think is how I've had success on YouTube, and I think James is the same way. Like after we had that first conversation, I knew I wanted to do more videos with him. That's how this whole show started. But like whenever you keep it real, whenever you keep it as real as possible, and try and be the best person you can, and try and do the best you can. Yeah. Like I think it's the best way to go, and just try and stay true to that. I think it's the best way to go for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks for the advice.
You know, I really agree with that too, as far as on the real side. But obviously, that's the angle I try to go from myself. But on a note on that, there are some circumstances where maybe you've been trained as an actor and you've done some research on what's going to fit what you want to show, and you enjoy acting. That might work out for somebody if they really enjoy acting and they have a persona that they want to play. But if that's not the case for you, don't try to play a persona. The best way is to be real and to just speak how you would and behave how you're going to behave always, you know.
Well, that's kind of counterintuitive to what we said, James. We said play to your strengths. So,
well, if you're an actor, that's your strength.
Was that the acting coming out?
I'm just, I'm playing a little devil's advocate because I do know some. You can have some success playing a character, but it's very rare. And if you're going to do that, you better be very good at it, and you better love doing it.
Yeah, you're going to be doing it for a long time, I think, because it's hard to break character. You can't be Stephen Colbert and then be somebody else the next day, right?
Nope, you can't break character. You have to stick with that character.
But we do have a question. We'll go to this. This might help some people out there. What channel statistics are the most important to monitor to keep the channel growing? That's from Nitro Nomad. You have any response to that, James?
You know, I would say watch time. As your subscriber count grows, your percent watch time should grow. If you're or your videos are too long.
I think you were
Did you
cutting
get
out
that,
there.
or did I break up?
Yeah,
Okay.
just repeat that real quick.
Okay. What I was saying is that it's your percent watch time. So how long your videos are versus what percentage of that those people watch. So if it's like 5 minutes and people are watching it on average 4 minutes, that's pretty good metric. Now, as your subscriber count goes up, your percent watch time should increase as well. And if it's not, either your videos are too long or they're just flat boring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a. I mean, it really depends on what fits for your channel as well, because things change all the time. Like as I mentioned before, when I went to that RV show, I did it to make videos to stay relevant, like just having new videos up all the time. So sometimes you just have to decide if maybe you shouldn't do videos at all for a little bit compared to doing videos, because it's always a balancing act. It's always trying to figure out the best way to do things, because for us, and I don't know your working situation, but for James and I, what sounds like we're in the same boat where we will work for a while, save up the cash, and then travel, which people, when they watch TV, they like having their episodes all the time. They like having that entertainment. But whenever you're working to travel again, you know, you're obviously working. You're not able to post videos, and then that's where a lot of people drop from your channel. If you stray from what your channel is about, obviously mine was originally about Class B life, and then it went from Alaska life, then it's going to Class A. But whenever I switch up, whenever I don't post for a while, I lose a lot of subscribers. Like, I just looked today, and within the last 30 days, I've lost 500 subscribers once I started posting the videos from the RV show. And that's because I went away from the Class B, and then I went to the Class A stuff. So even the smallest stuff, if you're trying to make videos, like just to even sustain yourself until you start traveling again, like people view that as a negative a lot of times, and they'll actually unsubscribe. They might be back later, but I mean that's something you have to consider, because it's always a balancing act whenever you actually have to work for a while to get back on the road. So take that in consideration as you're doing your channel as well.
Absolutely.
But
I think with us,
one thing is just don't do it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, James.
Wonder if he's
I was
going to
say that. Yeah, what I was going to start saying was don't disappear. I mean, you need to have at least your minimum frequency of uploading. If you disappear, I've seen channels that were really heavily followed, like lose 3/4 of their views because they took a month off. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, yeah, it's a balancing act. It's interesting. You can work all that time to get all the subscribers, all the views, but if you stop to work for a while, they're gone. But what were you about to say earlier?
Yeah, no, I was saying that the wife and I, we both have careers at this point, or jobs, better said, at this point, full time. We'll see what happens in the future. However, that being said, our channel is not going to be about putting out videos every day because we have to juggle the full-time work, the kids, and also just other things in life. But we want to get to the point where we can focus on our channel. But right now, we're just uploading videos that we've had since the summer, and we're just catching up because we live in New England. Up here in New England, with the winters, I mean, that's all you could do.
That's very true. But I definitely suggest if you're not able to do videos all the time, at least have one scheduled day where people know they can come and get a new video from you. Like, just don't make it sporadic, even if it's older. I mean, my suggestion is once spring hits, try and keep it, up to date. This is what we're doing today because people don't like a lag. I definitely learned that the hard way. But definitely at least try and get one video up a week. That way people know you're still there, you're still posting, you're still part of the channel, and I would definitely try and do that.
Absolutely.
But we're at the hour and 15 mark, so real quick, guys, say your channel again, and go ahead and be sure to tell people how to get to your channel, how to subscribe to your channel, and what you're doing with your channel.
Our channel name is Oasis of the Soul. We don't have a custom URL because you need a certain amount of subscribers for that, but I think the best way probably if you can't find us on just through the YouTube search would be to find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Oasis of the Soul, or our blog, www.oasisofthesoul.com. And what are we doing?
Check us out, Oasis of the Soul.
Yeah, so for those just watching for the first time, they are actually a family that's converting a Prevost bus. You have 2 children, and you're looking to travel more during the summer, and this is a possibility full-time thing in the future if it works out for you, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for everybody for watching, James. What's up?
I said, who knows? We might hit up Mexico with James.
Catch up, yeah!
Hey, I speak Spanish, so that's covered.
He'll help me out.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again for everybody for watching. James, if you want to say bye real quick.
Yeah, so guys, one thing before I just sign off on this is there's something going on in Catalina and I's family that if you happen to know anybody that is connected to healthcare, I'd posted a video about it on my channel, but her little nephew has neuroblastoma, and he's pretty much gone through all that they can do in Brazil. There's a couple of doctors. There's Nia Kong Chung at Sloan Kettering. If you happen to know anybody that's over there, guys, it would really help us out if you could put us in contact, because there's an experimental treatment they're doing that there's a lot of success with the type of cancer this little guy has. If you can help out that way, that'd be appreciated. Also, there's another doc that's working in the trials, Paul Sloan over in University of Wisconsin. So if you just know anybody or anything like that, I'd sure appreciate the help there, guys. And as far as signing off, you guys know I'm Wanderlust Estate, and working on getting back out on the road, guys, and I just want to tell you all that I appreciate you coming in on over here, and I want you guys getting out there and connecting with people. Live your story, guys. I always say that because I think that's important. Obviously, you may have a little bit of a different situation than we do and what our passions are, but make sure that you're doing that. And as our new buddies here were saying, get out there and reduce world suck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like James said, in terms of getting out there, following your passion, see what's out there, see what you like doing. For me, it's like I love getting out there doing photography. It gets me up at 5 in the morning to watch the sunrise. Like get that when you're out there and you finally do make it, when you get your RV, your Class B, A, B, C, whatever, and you're out there, you camp, you wake up before the sun comes up, you take a hike up this little path and watch a sunrise, and you just stayed in your camper for the night, and you're doing it for absolutely free. Like it's the best feeling in the whole world. It's absolutely amazing. Just keep that goal in mind, because if you keep at it, you keep going, you'll get there someday. Just keep going, keep trying. Next week, G and I will be in the Class A, and I have everybody watching here to thank for that, and really do appreciate it, all the help, all the support, in terms of comments and always critiquing me and helping me get the channel to where it is now. I really do appreciate it, so thank you for that. Thanks for watching once again. Next week it's going to be on James' channel, this live video, and we will be in the Class A, which I am super, super excited about. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Catch you later.
Bye.